Welcome to week 2 of the endocrine system. Some of this stuff on the screen so far you've already seen, but I wanted to go back over it. So you've made it through week 1. You've started looking at the endocrine system and realizing how important the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus are to our body, hopefully. You've started to look at the hormones they release and the downstream. When I say downstream, like imagine if I dump a chemical into the river in one spot, it's going to affect everything downstream. So you've started to realize how the downstream processes occur after, let's say, the adrenocorticotropin hormone is released from the pituitary gland. Okay, so or growth hormones released. Okay, or maybe ADH, the antidiuretic hormone, or also called vasopressin in parts of the body, is released from the posterior pituitary gland. So start understanding those processes downstream and what happens. Okay, the learning objectives are up here again, same ones that were for week 1. They're included. The medical terminology link for the endocrine system's right there, and this video. Okay, so if we go back to look at the module, you see here we have sequence of week 2 activities and readings. You got your reading sections. You got another video from Crash Course. You have your first Labster simulation if you haven't started that already. Endocrinology. Make sure you have your access code. Again, if you're having problems with that, let me know. But I will have some feedback for you on that lab as well that will get posted after right around when it's due. You have your Watch Khan Academy, another Khan Academy, and then an endocrine virtual lab game. Your second activity here, the endocrine hormone activity. Okay. Again, this is you don't turn this assignment in for those who are new to this class. Those who took me last quarter know that you complete the self-evaluation quiz. But this talks more about just looking at the endocrine system and homeostasis, autonomic nervous system and endocrine system, the fight or flight response. And so this kind of also reaches back to last quarter and has you pull out some of that information from the nervous system. As you look at the different classifications of hormones, right? So we have fat-soluble and water-soluble hormones. And I'm moving my hands like you can't see me because I'm not recording me. But fat-soluble hormones are able to go right through a cell membrane right down to the nucleus. And so they act really quickly. Water-soluble hormones, proteins, they have to bind at the surface membrane, and then there's a second messenger system that occurs, which you'll be learning about in your readings. And you'll have to talk about it in this assignment. But that process is different than the fat-soluble hormones. So there's 2 different types of hormones, and there's more classifications of the hormones. I'm not going to expect you to know all the different areas, but the main 2 areas are water-soluble and fat-soluble. And underneath those, you're going to get into like steroid-based, peptide, an amino chain or a protein-based hormones as well. So you'll have to differentiate between those classifications, and those are in your readings and videos. Okay, so make sure you do this activity and then do the self-evaluation quiz. And then you get to the end here, you have your endocrine end of module case study assignment. So I'm going to pull that up just so you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into if you haven't taken this class. Those who've taken me before already have an idea. You have 3 different cases, and I changed them up a little bit compared to last quarter. So if you talk to somebody who took 242 last quarter or have their information, I changed it up. We're not going to do the same stuff every quarter, and it makes it a little harder on me to grade, but I want you to really learn. Don't cheat yourself. There's also sites like Chegg that people will take these and submit them to get experts to answer their questions. I have a plagiarism thing that tells me exactly where your answers come from. So don't cheat. There's no value in it. I'm just going to make you redo something else or redo it yourself. So, or I'll give you a 0. So it's not going to help you. I want you to learn. Okay. Don't stress about the plagiarism thing, because if you have to use some resources, that's fine. But it's people that are just copy and pasting or having somebody else do their work. It just, it doesn't do any good for you. We want nursing, radiology, techs, whatever you're going to be in the medical field, we want you to be educated. We want you to be knowledgeable. We want you to be critical thinkers. And if you're just going to copy and paste information, you're the last person I want taking care of me in the hospital or in the clinic. No offense. That shows laziness. And that's not a way to be successful in any career. If you need help and you're struggling and you resort to copying to get the assignment done, that's not good either. Because if you're in a situation where you need help and you're struggling, you need to ask for help. And I know that we have pride issues or we're scared to ask people. The reality is, if we need help and we're stuck, we need to ask questions, and that's why I'm here. Otherwise, what's my job? Just to design a course and sit back and do nothing? I'm here to answer questions and help you. So if you're stuck on this, even though it's an end of module assessment, if you want to call it an exam, whatever, I'm here for your learning. I want these to improve your learning as well as assess your learning. These are just kind of a culminating assignment at the end that really enhances your whole learning, puts it all together, and tests your learning at the same time. So please reach out, ask questions, get the help you need, and be successful and learn. I want you to learn a ton of information in this class. And the way I teach, if people buy into it, it shows that they learn a ton and they do far better than the traditional method of just lectures and exams. Okay, so trust me in the process. Now, when you're doing these end of module assessments, you'll see I have a list here of things you need to include. Highlight those or underline them in your answers, please, so that it's easy. It makes it super easy and quick for me to grade in that way. You will lose points if you don't highlight or underline them. Okay, it's part of the assignment. The other thing is, you're not a doctor, so I'm not asking you to diagnose these people like a doctor. I'm not asking you to look up, oh, I wonder what Anthony's mental disorder is or whatever, like in this situation. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, based on what you've learned in the endocrine system module and what you know about the endocrine system module and how things occur, explain. Okay, explain what's going on, how the endocrine system is adjusting or adapting, or what's going wrong with it based on what you know. Explain the physiology of what's going on. Don't think of yourself as a doctor. Think of yourself as you're just addressing the situation I've given you in this case. It's really easy to start going into the diagnosis. You're not doing that. Okay, you are explaining the physiology for what's happening. Does that mean you might get into a little bit of that stuff? That's fine. But, you know, for example, if I said, we'll think of a different unit. We'll go back to last quarter. So if I said, oh, Johnny was lifting and he was doing a bicep curl and he had an intense pain all of a sudden in his bicep and had to put the bar down and he couldn't lift his arm anymore. If I was a doctor diagnosis, I might just say, oh, he has a muscle strain. That's not going to be an answer that gets you anything, right? I would want you to explain what's going on then. Okay, well, if we talk about muscle fibers, okay, well, the muscle fiber is attached to a tendon. Tendons are made up of dense regular connective tissue. That dense regular connective tissue tore from the bone when he was lifting that bicep or that weight with his bicep. And in doing so, he also tore pieces of bone. Okay, and so the bone, or he broke pieces of bone, the bone shattered. Okay, bone is made up of this, this, and this. And osteoblasts will repair that bone. He might have to have surgery and get it replaced in. Okay, and go. I'm not going to keep going. I'm talking kind of fast, but that's the idea. I'm not there to just give a diagnosis and be done. A lot of times I've seen students where they're just like, give me 2 sentences. If you're giving me 2 sentences for these case studies, and I'm not saying they need to be giant pages of information, but if you're giving me 2 sentences, you're not doing it right, or you don't know what you're doing. So you need to reach out for help. The other thing is, you don't have to do these like an essay. If you paper an essay works for you, that's fine. You could do diagrams, you could do flow charts. As long as you include the information I'm looking for, I don't care how you do it. I've seen people do PowerPoint versions, and those are really, really good. I will post some examples after this case study, so I want you to take a crack at it on your own or talk to your teammates, and then I'll post some examples. I don't want to post any examples before because I'm going to use this case study answers as an example. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions or need help, please reach out. Stay after it. All the modules will be set up in the same way. I really look forward to seeing your work this quarter and getting to know all of you. I know a lot of you I had last quarter in 241, so I just continue to get to know you. And a lot of you did really, really awesome work, and a lot of you improved a ton, so I'm excited to see what you do this quarter. So take care. Let me know if you need help. You can reach out to me on that phone number I posted, email or Canvas, and I will be there to help you. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.